The storm was loud. Wind screamed through the broken walls of the outpost. Metal creaked. Somewhere, a door slammed again and again in the wind. He walked through the ruins like a shadow, tall, in a black coat, dust on his boots, blood on his shoulder. His name was Commander Rin, a human, a war hero, but now he just wanted silence. Then he heard footsteps soft, barefoot. He turned fast, hand on his gun. A girl stood there, soaking wet. Thin, shaking, eyes wide with fear. She was not fully human, not fully alien either. Her voice broke like glass. "Please, don't throw me out." Rin didn't move. His face was hard, cold. "You followed me." She nodded, hugging her arms to her chest. "I had to. I have no one else." Her name was Lyra. She was just 19. But her eyes looked older, as if she had seen too much. Rin stepped closer. "You know why I left? Why I didn't bring you with me?" Tears ran down her cheeks. "Because I was part of their plan. Because you think I'm a tool. A trap." She fell to her knees. "I'll bear your offspring. Just don't throw me out." Silence filled the room. Only the storm spoke now. Rin stared at her. He didn't speak. His hand loosened on his weapon. He had met Lyra 6 months ago during a mission inside an alien research lab. The place was dark, full of strange machines. That's where he found her, in a glass cell, unconscious, alone. He was told to destroy the lab. But he didn't. He brought her back. Big mistake, he thought. He watched her cry now. She looked human, but inside he knew she was something more. Something designed. "You said you weren't like them," he said slowly. "But now you tell me you're pregnant with my child." She nodded. "They forced me into the program. But the child is real. I didn't fake this. I didn't choose this. But it's mine and yours." He walked past her, picked up a broken radio, tossed it aside. "You think saying that will change what you are?" She looked up, eyes shining with tears. "What if what I am is what they fear?" Rin stopped. He looked down at her. "Explain." Lyra stood up slowly, her voice steadier now. "They built hybrids, dozens of us, to mix alien minds with human strength, but most of us died. I lived. I escaped. Why? Because I saw something I wasn't supposed to." She touched the side of her head. "I saw their future. I saw Earth, broken, dead. They want to erase all humans, Rin, everyone. But," she stepped forward, "there's something inside me. And the child, it can stop them." He frowned. "How?" "I don't know yet, but they're afraid of me. That's why they're hunting me. And if you throw me out—" Her voice cracked again. "They'll win." Rin looked at her for a long moment. The storm behind her made her look like a ghost. But something in her eyes was real. Pain, truth, fear, or was it all an act? He turned away. "I don't trust you, not yet." He walked to the old control room, powered up the last working lights. "You can stay, for now. But if I find one lie in your story, you're out. You understand?" She nodded, holding her belly. "Thank you. You won't regret it." He didn't answer, but that night, as he sat watching the broken sky through a cracked window, he heard something, a soft hum, like a signal. Coming from her room? He checked the scanner. Nothing, but still, the signal was there, hidden, faint dot, and for the first time in years, Rin felt something he hated. Asterisk. The outpost was quiet. Too quiet. Commander Rin sat near the old computer core. He hadn't slept. His rifle rested across his lap, and his eyes stayed fixed on the hallway where Lyra had gone to rest. The storm outside was gone, but the air still felt heavy. Like something was watching. He stood up, walked slowly to the locked door, and pressed the scanner. Lyra was asleep on the floor, curled up under a blanket. Her face was pale, sweat dripped from her forehead. Her hand was on her stomach. Rin didn't wake her. He just watched. He didn't trust her, not fully. Not yet, but a voice in his head whispered, "She's not lying." Back in the control room, he turned on the last working data screen. His fingers moved fast across the keys. He opened Lyra's blood scan files. Read her DNA chart again. Something was wrong. Her DNA was 60% human. The rest was not like any alien he had ever seen. Not the Zelari, not the Kurith, not even the brainworms from Vega 9. This code was ancient. He zoomed in. The strand had a marker. A glowing green symbol. And Rin had seen it once before. 10 years ago, during a mission his own government had. Erased. Flashback. He was younger then, a soldier full of fire. His squad had found an underground vault near the Arctic Circle. Inside were tanks, filled with children in liquid. He remembered the symbol, the same glowing mark, carved on the steel walls. Then a voice in his comes, "Burn everything, no survivors." He obeyed. But now, staring at Lyra's DNA scan, the memory burned him from inside. He whispered, "I didn't destroy them all." "Did I?" A sound. Rin stood up fast, grabbing his rifle. Lyra was in the doorway, pale, breathing hard. I heard something, like a whisper, in my head. Rin stared at her. "You were part of the Arctic facility, weren't you?" She looked down, then nodded slowly. "I was born there. We were trained. Tested. Then one day, the alarms went off. Fire. Screaming. I hid. They thought I was dead." She looked up at him, her voice shaking. "Was it you?" Rin didn't speak. His face said enough. Lyra stepped back. "You killed them." He looked away. "I followed orders. And now?" she asked, tears rising. "Now I don't know what's true anymore." Later, Rin gave her food, simple rations. She ate in silence. He finally asked, "What did they do to you there?" Lyra swallowed. "They made us read without eyes, feel without touching. We could talk with each other, in thoughts. But not all of us survived, the ones who failed. They were silenced." She touched her belly again. "When I got older, they told me I was special. My DNA could carry both human and alien life. They said I was ready for the next stage. That's when they brought you in." Rin blinked. "What?" "They took your blood after your last mission. They didn't tell you. But they had your sample. They used it to match with mine." He felt cold all of a sudden. "You're saying they made this child from me without my will?" She nodded. "They needed a child strong enough to survive both worlds, human and whatever they planned." Rin stood, pacing, angry, confused. "Why me?" Lyra whispered, "Because you were the only one who survived the core." He turned sharply. "The core? You mean the Earth core system?" She nodded. "It chose you. Years ago, you were marked." Suddenly, the lights flickered. A soft beep echoed from the corner screen. Rin turned. A transmission was playing, low signal, encrypted. Lyra froze. No, they found us." On screen. Static, then a voice. "Robotic, subject L9 located. Extraction unit in orbit. Countdown 48 hours. Rin's hands tightened. "They're coming for you." "For us?" she corrected. She stepped forward. Her voice quiet. "You have every reason to hate me. But if they take me, this child, it will become their weapon. It won't save anything. It'll end us all." Rin said nothing. Lyra added, "You wanted peace, so did I, but peace never comes alone. It has to be protected." He looked at her for the first time. Not as a test subject, not as a mistake, but as someone real. That night, Rin stayed awake again. But this time, he sat by her door, rifle in hand. Eyes wide open, not to keep her in, but to keep something else out. The sun never rose in this part of Earth anymore. The sky stayed gray. Cold winds moved across dead grass like ghosts whispering to no one. Commander Rin and Lyra stood in front of a sealed bunker door. It was buried under dirt and moss, forgotten. For years, Rin wiped the dust off the keypad. This place, it used to be an AI lab, not military, not alien, pure human tech. Lyra looked weak. Her hand held her stomach tightly. "It hurts, more each day." He glanced at her. She was sweating again, pale. Her body was changing, fast. The child was growing. Too fast. Rin unlocked the bunker. The door opened with a long groan. Inside, the lights flickered to life. Dim and yellow. The air smelled like metal and old wires. They moved through long halls filled with screens, machines, and cables hanging like vines. At the center was a round room, a pod set in the middle. Rin wiped dust off the pod screen. Still. Functional. He turned to Lyra. "Lie down inside." The AI will scan you, Lyra hesitated. Will it hurt? No, just answers. She climbed into the pod. The lid closed. A soft hum began. A female voice filled the room. Scanning initiated. Subject identified. Lyra. Genetic signature. Hybrid class. Rin leaned forward. Tell me what she's carrying. The AI paused. Subject is pregnant. Fetal development accelerated. Estimated full term in 5 days. Rin's eyes widened. That's not possible. Correction. Fetus is not standard human or alien. Genetic code shows evolutionary leap. New classification. Bridge species. Rin's voice lowered. What does that mean? The AI answered. A new life form. One that can link alien neural systems to human emotional control. Lyra's voice shook from inside the pod. So the child is both? Yes, said the AI. Its brain structure holds alien memory pathways, but its emotional center is fully human. Rin took a step back. This child wasn't just a baby, it was a key. A living connection between two worlds, the AI continued. Such hybrids were attempted before, all failed, emotional overload. Neural collapse, but this fetus shows stability. High survival chance. Lyra's voice was soft. Why now? Why me? Rin answered instead. Because they've tried everything else. Wars, weapons, mind control, but emotions. They never understood that part. He turned to the AI. Can it be used? As a weapon? Yes, or as a peacekeeper. The pod opened. Lyra sat up slowly, holding her stomach. They don't want peace, they want control. Rin looked at her closely. And you? What do you want? She smiled sadly. To be free. For this child to be free? Her face turned serious. You think I'm strong? But I'm scared, Rin. Every hour I feel it growing inside me. Thinking, dreaming, sometimes I hear its thoughts. Rin asked gently, what do you hear? She looked straight into his eyes. It's not afraid. It wants to live, and it knows you. Rin froze. What do you mean? It knows your name. It sees your face. Somehow, it trusts you. A long silence passed. Suddenly, alarms blared through the bunker. Warning! Unknown signals approaching. 2 life forms detected. Rin grabbed his rifle. They found us. Lyra stood, wincing in pain. Not bounty hunters. Something worse. Rin pulled her behind a pillar. A moment later, the ceiling above cracked. 2 shadowed figures dropped in through the roof. Tall, pale-skinned, no eyes. Wearing black armor with glowing symbols, silent hunters. Rin had fought them once before. He barely survived. They moved like shadows, fast and smooth. One of them sniffed the air. Hybrid. Is near, it hissed. Rin fired. The bullet passed. Through nothing. A trick. The second one appeared behind him. Grabbing his shoulder, Rin spun, stabbed it in the neck with his plasma knife. It screamed, its body blinking like static. Lyra reached out and screamed something strange. Not human. The walls VIBR@TD. The hunters stopped. One of them turned and fled. The other collapsed, shaking. Rin stared at Lyra. What was that? She was breathing hard, eyes glowing faintly. The child. It spoke through me. It made them afraid. Rin helped her stand. We need to leave. Now. Outside, the winds had returned. The sky darker than before. Rin held her arm. Guiding her through the ash-covered fields, Lyra whispered, They will keep coming, until the child is theirs. Or dead? Rin looked up at the gray sky. He didn't speak, but in his mind, one thought repeated again and again, this child may be hope. Or the end of everything. Asterisk, the sky was black by the time they reached the old power tower. It stood like a skeleton, half buried in the dirt, wires swinging in the wind. Rin checked the scanner. No signals nearby. We rest here. Lyra nodded. Breathing hard, her steps were slower now. The child was draining her strength. Inside the tower, Rin set up a shield wall using broken metal. It wasn't perfect, but it would slow down anything that tried to get in. Lyra sat on the floor, leaning against a support beam. She touched her belly and winced. It's kicking, but not like a normal child. It feels like it's scanning me. Reading me. Rin crouched beside her. That thing inside you is learning fast. Maybe too fast. She looked at him. It's not a thing. He nodded slowly. You're right, it's a who now, not a what. Outside, the wind howled louder. Inside, the air turned cold. Rin stood and walked to the tower window. His eyes scanned the horizon. And then he saw it, a faint red light. Then another, moving in silence. Getting closer, they found us. Lyra stood up with effort. How many? 3, maybe more. He picked up his rifle and handed her a small pulse grenade. Stay behind me. If they catch you, it's over. Minutes passed like hours. Then the first hunter stepped into view. Tall, faceless, armored, its movements smooth like water. It carried no weapons. It was the weapon. Behind it, 2 more followed, one crawling low, the other walking upside down along a broken beam. As if gravity didn't matter, they stopped just outside the tower. Silence. Then, all at once, they rushed in. Rin opened fire. One shot hit the lead hunter, blasting it into a wall. But it stood back up, bones cracking into place. Lyra, run! But she didn't run. She stood still, eyes closed. The wind shifted. The tower groaned. Suddenly, the air around her shimmered. The hunters froze. The child was doing something again. Rin watched in shock as the 3 hunters stepped back, for the first time. Uncertain. Then the smallest one spoke, voice like broken. Glass, the child is awake. Rin didn't wait. He charged the nearest hunter and slammed it into a power core. Sparks flew. The creature screamed. Lyra raised her hand, and the second hunter stopped mid-air, frozen like a statue. Rin shouted, "How are you doing that?" Lyra's voice was distant. "It's not me, it's him, inside." The third hunter lunged toward her. She gasped and fell, pain shooting through her. The hunter reached out, but just before it touched her, it stopped. Its armor cracked. Its head tilted. It knelt. As if bowing to her. And then it spoke. "The core sees you, mother." Then it turned and ran into the shadows. Rin ran to her. "Are you okay?" Lyra was breathing hard. Sweat covered her skin. It spoke like it knew me. It called me mother. Rin helped her sit. "What is this child, Lyra? What is it really?" She shook her head. "I don't know, but it's changing everything, even them." They stayed hidden inside the tower. Until morning, Rin stood by the window again. Watching the cold light return to the sky, Lyra slept beside a heating coil, whispering in her dreams. He couldn't hear the words, but they didn't sound human. He looked down at his hands, scars, burns, years of war. He had fought aliens, machines, rebels, monsters, but never something like this, something that made enemies kneel. Lyra woke with a sharp cry. Rin rushed to her side. "What is it?" She gasped. "It started, the birth, it's early." Rin froze. "We still had days." She shook her head, eyes wide with fear. "No, he's ready now. He chose this time." Rin grabbed supplies from his pack. "We can't stay here, it's too open." He pulled up a map on his wrist screen. "There's a cave system 4 miles west. Underground. Safe from drones." Lyra groaned. "I don't know if I can make it." He looked at her, then said softly, "You have to. Not for you, not for me. For him." She nodded, teeth clenched. As they stepped outside, Lyra whispered, "He's speaking again, but not to me this time." Rin looked at her. "Then who?" She pointed at him. "You, he's calling you." "Father." Rin didn't answer, but deep. Inside, something shifted. Not fear. Not duty. Something else. Something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. A cave mouth was hidden beneath a dead tree, half swallowed by dust and time. Rin pulled Lyra through the narrow tunnel, one arm wrapped around her waist. She could barely walk. Her breaths were shallow, her skin pale as snow. Behind them, the sky was silent, but Rin didn't trust the silence. The enemy had changed. They were no longer chasing with guns and drones. They were watching now. Waiting. The child inside Lyra had changed the game. The cave walls glowed faintly as they moved deeper. Not from light, but something else. Some energy under the surface. Lyra looked up with weak eyes. "This place. I've been here before, in dreams." Rin paused. "Dreams?" She nodded slowly. "Before I escaped the nest, I used to see a light underground, a voice calling me. I thought it was fake, but it's real. It's here." They moved on, deeper, until they reached a stone wall covered in strange symbols. Rin touched one, the rock pulsed under his hand, and then it opened. The hidden chamber beyond was massive, circular, smooth walls. No seams, no machines, but in the center stood a tall crystal pillar, floating just above the ground. Humming softly, Lyra stepped forward as if drawn by something. "This is it," she whispered. The Earth core. Rin kept his hand on his weapon. "This place was just a story, a myth," Lyra turned to him. "It's not a machine, it's alive?" Suddenly, the crystal glowed brighter. A voice filled the chamber, deep, calm, and ancient. Human designation. Commander Rin, hybrid carrier, Lyra. Rin stepped back. "Who are you?" The voice replied, "I am Core, planetary intelligence, awakened after 1,000 years of silence." Lyra dropped to her knees. "You called me, in dreams." "You were chosen?" the voice replied. Rin narrowed his eyes. "Chosen for what?" The Core answered, "This world is dying. Alien minds grow stronger. But they lack one thing, balance. They cannot feel without breaking. You, human, you carry pain, love, rage, mercy. The hybrid child will carry both paths. It will restore the bridge." Lyra held her belly, trembling. "He's listening. He's hearing everything." The Core glowed again. "The child is awake. His neural field has already touched the web of thought beyond this world. He has connected with the alien minds. They fear him. They want to destroy what they cannot control." Rin took a step forward. "Then we protect him, whatever it takes." The Core dimmed briefly. "There is a price." Rin's eyes narrowed. "What price?" "The birth will trigger a pulse. A signal that can restart Earth's broken network. But it will also burn out the carrier." Lyra looked up slowly. "You mean I'll die?" Silence. Then the Core answered, "Yes." Rin shouted, "There has to be another way." "No, the child must survive. The mother must release the code through death." Lyra was quiet for a moment. Then she smiled sadly. "So I really was made to die." Rin grabbed her hand. "You are not just a tool, not to me." Lyra looked at him, eyes soft. "Then promise me something, anything. Protect him, raise him. Don't let him become what they wanted him to be." Rin nodded. "I swear it." The chamber lights flared. The Core spoke again. "The signal has already begun. Others have heard it." Far above the surface, ships began moving, not just bounty hunters now, entire fleets. Alien leaders, human factions. Secret machines. All were coming. All wanted the child. Lyra suddenly cried out. She collapsed to the floor. Screaming in pain, Rin rushed to her side. Blood. The birth had begun. Too fast. Too violent. The Core spoke once more. "There is no stopping now. The process has begun. Life will fight to be born." Rin lifted her into his arms and carried her to the center of the chamber. The crystal pulsed like a heartbeat. Lyra's voice was barely a whisper. "Tell him I loved him, even before I met him." Rin held her hand tight. Tears in his eyes. "He'll know. I'll make sure of it." She closed her eyes, and the light around them grew blinding. A final scream, a pulse of white energy exploded from the chamber, rushing out through the earth, into the sky, across satellites, through alien ships, and silent fleets, a signal born from love and sacrifice. When the light faded, Rin sat on the floor, shaking in his arms, a newborn child, not crying, watching him, eyes glowing with gentle light, not alien, not fully human. Something more, something new. Rin looked at him and whispered, "You're not just a weapon. You're hope." The storm outside had passed, but inside the cave, a colder silence grew. Rin sat with the child in his arms, still, quiet, glowing. The newborn boy didn't cry, didn't scream. He just stared, as if already aware of the world around him. Lyra's body lay still near the core crystal. She was gone, and Rin had never felt so hollow. He buried her just outside the cave entrance. No marker, no name, just stones. He stood in the falling dust, the baby wrapped in his coat. "I'll keep my promise," he whispered. "He'll know who you were." Behind him, the earth core pulsed one last time. Then it went silent. Its work was done. For the next 3 days, Rin moved carefully. He stayed off scanners, fed the child small nutrient packs, talked to him like he was listening, because somehow he always seemed to be. The child had no name yet, but Rin felt a strange connection to him, not just blood. Something deeper. When the child touched his hand, Rin would feel a warmth in his chest, a memory. A moment, a whisper from the core. This child was not normal. And that truth carried weight. On the fourth day, a signal broke through the silence, a voice sharp, familiar. Commander Rin, stand down. You're surrounded. Rin stiffened. He looked outside the cave and saw it, a black shuttle, marked with the old Earth Federation symbol, soldiers in armor. Drones floating. At the front stood a man Rin hadn't seen in years, Colonel Dax, old friend, trusted brother. Now wearing a different face, Rin stepped out, rifle in hand, the child strapped close to his chest. Dax raised his hands. I'm not here to shoot you. I'm here to bring you in. You and the child. Rin's voice was low. This child isn't a weapon, Dax nodded. You think I don't know that? I read the core reports. I know what he is, what he could be. Rin narrowed his eyes. Then you know he's not ready. He's just a baby. Dax stepped closer. Exactly. That's why now is the time. Before he learns. Before he chooses. We guide him, shape him. Or others will. Rin's grip tightened. You mean control him? No, protect Earth, Dax said sharply. Don't be blind, Rin. Aliens are already on their way. And your little miracle child lit the sky like a flare. Everyone knows. He's here. Rin shook his head. Lyra died so he could live free, not be used, not by them. Not by you. Dax's voice turned cold. Lyra was a lab rat. You let your emotions cloud your duty. That's your weakness. Rin looked down at the boy. The child stared up at him, calm, trusting. He made his choice. You're not getting him. Dax sighed. Don't. Make me do this. He waved his hand. Behind him, soldiers raised their weapons before they could fire. Something changed. The air grew heavy. Time slowed. And then the child, only days old, opened his mouth and made a sound. Not a cry, not a word. Just a pulse. A soundless wave of energy spread out from him. Like wind through glass. Drones dropped it. Soldiers froze. Even Dax stumbled back. Clutching his head, Rin stood there, stunned. The child was still glowing, faintly, but his eyes were soft. Not angry. Not violent. Just protecting. Rin whispered, You didn't hurt them. You just stopped them. He looked up. Dax was on his knees, breathing hard. What was that? Rin walked past him. A choice. He didn't go far. Rin found shelter in an old weather station, buried under snow and ash. He lit a fire. Held a child close. He didn't speak. He didn't need to, but that night, as the wind howled outside, he heard footsteps. Slow, careful. He reached for his rifle. A voice called softly. Rin. It's me. Dax. Unarmed. Alone. R-wide the gun, but didn't move. Dax stepped in, hands raised. I had orders. I followed them, but after what I saw today, I don't know what's right anymore. He looked at the child. He's not just a weapon. He's something else. Rin said nothing. Dax sat near the fire. They'll send others. You know, that smarter, faster, colder than me. What will you do? Rin held the child tighter. Whatever I must. Dax nodded slowly, then said, Let me help. But outside the station, something moved in the dark. Not human. Not alien. Something new. Watching. Waiting. Its voice echoed in the wind. The core is awakened. The child is born. Now, the end begins. Snow fell in slow, silent flakes across the dead valley. Inside the weather station, the fire had burned down to coals. Rin sat with the child wrapped in thick cloth against his chest. The boy's eyes were closed, but Rin could feel it. His mind was awake, always listening. Dax leaned against the wall, rifle in his lap. They're close, he said quietly. I picked up movement 3 clicks out, not human. Rin didn't look up. Then it's them. The final wave. They had been waiting for 3 days, waiting for something to happen. The child had not spoken again. But he had changed. He no longer needed food, no longer slept. His skin pulsed softly like light through water. Rin knew the truth now. The child was no longer just a miracle. He was a message. That night, the sky cracked open, not thunder. Engines. Alien ships descended, silent and smooth, black metal folding like wings. The ground shook. Done. Silence again. No weapons fired. No alarms. Just a low hum in the air. Like the world holding its breath, Rin stood, holding the child in one arm, rifle in the other. Take him and run, he told Dax, but Dax shook his head. Not leaving you, Rin stared at him. This isn't your fight. It is now. Rin nodded once. Outside, the first shadow moved. A figure appeared in the snow, tall, robed, faceless. Behind it, others, dozens, hundreds. Alien leaders. Minds that ruled star systems. They didn't speak with mouths. They spoke with presence. A cold voice filled Rin's head. Give us the seed, and we will leave your world untouched. Rin stepped forward. He's not a seed, he's a child. The voice grew sharper. He carries the code. He is not meant to feel. He is meant to merge. Rin felt the child stir. Tiny fingers gripped his shirt. Then, something unexpected happened. The child opened his eyes, bright, glowing silver, and he spoke, not through voice, but into every mind present. I am not yours. I am not theirs. Me. The alien leaders flinched. Some stepped back. The child's light grew brighter. Stretching across the snow, Rin's heart pounded. The child turned to him. Stay with me. Suddenly the world moved. The aliens attacked. Beams of light. Swords of thought. Forces that could melt rock. Ryn dove behind cover, firing wildly. Dax fought beside him, covering his flank. But there were too many. The child floated upward, surrounded. In light, not afraid. Not crying. He reached out, and time bent. Snow paused midair. Bullets froze in motion. The attackers collapsed. Clutching their heads, inside the child's light, a new pulse formed. Not a weapon, a wave of memory. The earth. Its forests, its oceans, its laughter, its pain. Every human emotion, raw and unfiltered, surged into the alien minds. They screamed. Not in pain. In understanding. For the first time. They felt. And then, silence. The ship stopped. The sky cleared. The invaders dropped their weapons, many falling to their knees. The war had ended, not by force, but by connection. Rin stood in the snow, barely breathing. The child floated back down into his arms, smaller, now. Weaker. His voice was soft. It's done. Rin held him tightly. You're okay. You're safe now. The boy looked up, eyes dimming. She's waiting. Rin's heart broke. No, don't go. The child smiled. I'm not going, just sleeping. For a long time? Rin whispered, I'll stay with you. The boy's glow faded, but his warmth remained. And then, peace. Years passed. The earth healed slowly. The sky grew bluer. The wars ended. Rin lived far from cities, quiet, watching stars, telling stories to no one. In a quiet room, a small pod glowed, faint silver light, pulsing gently. The child still slept inside. Waiting. Until the world was ready. And every night, Rin whispered the same words at the pod's side. You're not a weapon. You're not a project. You're my son. And I'll stay with you as long as it takes.